Hello, hello. You'll notice my voice is a bit different. I'm feeling a bit like a hot mess today. My youngest has been sick for a few days, running a fever and different stuff like that. So I've been sleeping with him a lot and getting all the germs. But I wanted to take a moment to go live today and share with you a little bit about distinguishing the difference between your intuition, which would be that gut feeling that you get. People often talk about it, or like an inner knowing. There's lots of different ways people refer to their intuition. But it's just that sense that you get of what's right or wrong for you, what's your next step, that sort of thing. So when you're feeling that versus when you're feeling your ego or hearing your ego. And there's a whole lot we can go into there, but we're just going to stick to one main thing today. And that is just one way to know the difference between your intuition and your ego. And something I want to share with you before we really get into it is that even people like me I've been using my intuition my whole life and really been developing it over the last few years, and I coach around it and all that stuff. Like, it's a really big part of my life. Even people like me misinterpret intuition versus ego from time to time. And something happened recently that I wanted to share with you. So I have an aunt and her birthday was coming up. And I was like, oh, I know she loves amethyst and she just started getting into crystals. I'm going to find her an amethyst. And I'm good at going to a crystal store, setting an intention, and then finding the crystal that I need. I don't necessarily always go in and say, okay, today I want to work on my intuition, and then know that I'm looking for one of these 4 rocks that are known to help with intuition. I usually will walk in and say, I'm working on my intuition. Which rock can best help me with this? I can't even believe, this must be the sickness. I can't believe I'm calling it a rock instead of a crystal. It feels like sacrilegious to do that. But usually I call it like a crystal or a gem or something more beautiful than rock. But anyway, so I wanted to do this for my aunt. And the normal crystal shop that I go to was closed. She was out of town in Hawaii, jealous. So what I did was went to another one, and I went in. I couldn't find a single damn rock that called her name. And I did look at amethyst first because I knew that she loved amethyst and I knew that she loved purple. So I was starting there, but nothing. So another day I go to a different crystal store, one that I'd never been to in a very scary part of town, very sketchy. And I go inside. I even talk to the salesperson there, kind of say what's going on, what I'm looking for, that sort of. I just can't find anything. I'm finding lots of pretty things, right? And lots of things I want to take home, like crystals I had never seen before. Well, obviously crystals I'd never seen before, but like specific types of crystals that I'd never seen in real life and only like on Pinterest and stuff. So like I was seeing a lot, but still nothing was calling my name for her. And so I left very, very discouraged. I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to her birthday party tomorrow night and I have nothing for her. So I sat down and did some meditation. And what I felt like in the moment was that she didn't really want a crystal. That was just me wanting to give her a crystal, but she didn't really want to receive one. That what she really wanted was time with me. So I was like, okay. So if that's the truth, then what I'll do is I'll just make sure that I create enough space in my schedule that tomorrow when it's time for her birthday party, like I can go, I can be there, I can be, in the moment. I can be present at the party and not like rushed, because the following day we were leaving for a vacation, right? So normally I would be like on the fly and then getting home so that I can pack and all these different things. But I decided what I was going to do was create space in my calendar so that when I went to her birthday party, it was all about just being in the moment with her and enjoying it and staying as long as it took to, fully embrace that birthday party. I do that. I go to the birthday party. All goes as planned. The next morning, I get up to do my yoga and meditation before we leave. And I'm feeling really guilty. Feeling very guilty over the fact that I didn't take her a gift. Now, nobody else at the table when we went out to dinner brought her a gift, but for some reason, I'm still feeling very guilty that I didn't show up with a gift. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I want to give her this amethyst that I have. It was one of the first stones that I picked up. And it was the most expensive one I'd bought at the time, and it was $75. And so I'd kind of been like holding on to it, right? And in the moment I was thinking, okay, well, maybe my lesson here is about giving and receiving and understanding the abundance of the universe, and that if this crystal's really meant for her, then I need to pass it along to her and release my attachment to it and just know that something else will be coming in to fill its place. Guys, chill out. I got 2 little 10-month-old puppies over here, and they're laying in a bed together just wrestling and arguing. But anyway, hey, come. See, it's always Phil that comes. He's always the one that comes and gets on the lives. He's like, oh, hey, you're on video, girl? Let's do this. Aren't you? But if he's up here, he won't be bothering her. So we'll keep him up here and off the mic. Sorry if that sounded funny. So I decide I'm going to give her this amethyst. I send her a text message and I say, hey, if you're still in town, please wait. I can come by in an hour or 2 and drop this off for you. I have something for you. She says, great, I'll wait. I finished getting ready. I cannot find this amethyst anywhere. And the weirdest thing about me not being able to find this amethyst anywhere is, like, 1, it's big. 2, I keep it in 3 specific places. I either keep it on top of my oracle cards just to kind of cleanse them and keep them ready to go for the next time that I need to do a reading for myself or someone else. Or I'll move it into the bathroom right next to the bathtub. Sometimes I like to have it in there when I'm taking my bath. It opens. It's really strong. It's quite large. It's like a geode one. It's really strong for opening my crown chakra, I feel like. And the 3rd place is next to my bed. I cannot find this crystal anywhere, and I'm feeling terrible. I finally have to text my aunt and be like, I can't show up. I don't have it. I can't find it, and we have to leave for vacation. She says, okay. I go on vacation. I tell my mom about this whole situation. And she's like, that's interesting. Just kind of mirroring back to me, reflecting what I should already be picking up. I come home after a few days away, and I'm unpacking everything. I bring a crystal back into the room that I had taken on vacation with me, and there's my amethyst sitting right there on top of my oracle cards. So there's maybe a lot of different things you can gather from this, but what I was getting intuitively from it and realizing was that I wasn't meant to be giving that crystal away. That crystal's still meant to be with me. The only reason I was feeling called to share that was out of guilt, right? Here you go, bud. And guilt is not your intuition, right? If I hadn't been so rushed and I had taken some time to calm down and center myself and really understand what was going on, your intuition will not manipulate you with guilt or anything negative, right? Your intuition is your connection to God, to Source, the universe, your angels, your guides. This is your intuition. So it's all knowing, but it's gentle. It's a voice that is suggestive, not demanding. And so what my red flag should have been there was that I was doing this out of guilt. I felt like I needed to give a gift and I hadn't found one, and I was trying to come up with one because the guilt was painful. And so that was my ego getting involved. You see the difference? So even people like me can confuse these two things. So don't be too hard on yourself if you don't understand it yet. But there are a few things you can do to strengthen your intuition and to really start to notice the difference. And one thing is there's 6 different types of, they call them clairs, different types of clairs, which are different types of intuition. And knowing which one is your primary clair is really, really helpful, because what you'll notice is your primary clair is the one that you receive your intuition through the most easily. So that is the avenue that when God needs to get a hold of you, or your angels, or whoever needs to get a hold of you and share something with you, that's the one they're most likely to go through first, because they know that you're already receptive and receiving messages through it, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. So you've actually been receiving messages through that avenue your whole life. So that's what's so important about finding out what your primary clair is, because when you find that out, it's not about moving forward and experiencing it again. It's about taking a few minutes and looking backwards in your life and going, oh, you can sink into the knowing right there. You can realize right there all the different times you've actually had intuition show up in your life and support you for different things. Okay? So that's really important to know. And then as you get familiar with that voice, you can start to learn what is that difference between your intuition and your ego. What does your ego sound like to you? Because my ego has its own voice. Your ego has its own voice. They're going to be different. Like some of them are sarcastic. Some of them are rude. Some of them are mean. Some of them are just like, dull is the word that's coming to my mind. Like just kind of like, you know that depressed girl from, what was that Disney show? Remember Joy was in it? Crap. Do you know what I'm talking about? We have it downstairs. I can picture the front of it. Anyway, there was like joy, anger, sadness was the blue girl. And I'm thinking of her, and that's the kind of ego that I'm picturing in my mind for some people. It's just that kind of humdrum, no fun kind of person. But anyway, there's all these different types of egos. So you have to get familiar with what yours is. And you have to get familiar with what your ego's number one like go-to weapon. That might be a strong word. Basically, your ego knows your fail point. So that point where it says, okay, I've put up all these different blocks and she's pushed through them. Right? She just keeps pushing through them and going with her intuition, but I really want her to stay stuck right here where I know it's safe, and I know that she'll never go beyond this point. So I'm just going to, it's like it's trump card. Maybe that would be a better way to put it. It's like your ego knows the trump card for you. And what you need to do is understand when it's your ego and learn what that trump card is and move through it and create a different relationship with your ego. Okay? So if you want help with any of this, I'd love to invite you to work with me. I am offering 4 spaces in the month of February for intensives. It's a 90-minute intensive with me, and we cover all of this in the intensive. And I know it sounds like a lot, and it kind of is a lot to get in 90 minutes, but it's super powerful. And then you get a week worth of follow-up with me, of communicating with me, via private message. I keep losing my brain. I don't know if it's the head cold or what, but via private message or email so that you get support as you start implementing all of this and figuring it all out for yourself. So if you're interested in taking one of those 4 spots, please reach out. Just send me a private message, comment below, whatever, just get in touch. I'd be happy to talk with you. And if you're like kind of on the fence, like, wow, that sounds really cool, but I'm not positive it's the right offer for me, reach out anyway. Like, I'm totally open to having the conversation and seeing if this is a good fit for you or not. Maybe I have a different offer that would work better for you, or maybe there's just a tip that you need right now that could help you move forward, and then you'll be ready in the future, whatever it is that's right for you. But go ahead. If this sounds like a great offer for you, please reach out. I'd love to work with you. And if you have any questions about this live or comments, please just leave them below. I'm happy to interact. Have a good day.